Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John here with Kaiser to go over a few things with you today and see what the weekend will have in store. But if you've been looking at the TV this morning, I'm sure that you know that the hearing and question and answer sessions with the Democrats being again nasty to Donald Trump's picks for certain individuals. We have Kash Patel in the hot seat today, and they're trying their damnedest to make him look bad to the American public, but that's not going to be the case because he's a good man, very knowledgeable, and was picked for that job by President Trump for a reason. And the reasoning behind him being in charge of the FBI has been the weaponization of the three-letter agencies under the Biden-Harris tutelage, where they went out and did wrong things, weaponized the justice system, and got themselves caught. And now Kash Patel will come in and decide how to fix that. And it's not the rank-and-file members of the FBI that has caused the problems. It's been in the upper echelons of that organization that decided to weaponize themselves against a person that is a president that they don't want in a second term. So this has been uncovered now. It's as stinky as the Russian dossier was back in the time when Trump was president the last time. It's almost incredible how these agencies got filled with the people that will do dishonest things and not care about the American public. And our votes in November showed them, especially those Democrats that are sitting in Congress right now, or Senate, that are trying to discredit these people. They did a nasty hit job on RFK Jr. yesterday. Hopefully he'll be confirmed. But it wasn't a pleasure to watch, and I'm sure it was very difficult for him to even answer a question because they filibustered right through the question that they first asked. So he didn't have an opportunity to come forward and say yes or no or explain a situation that they had put together to make it sound like it was something different. So every time he tried to answer that, he got stymied by a filibuster from people like Dick Durbin and just out-and-out Trump haters that are sitting on the Democratic side of the aisle. And then on the Republican side of the aisle, we have a handful of rhinos that go along with these clowns. It is a clown show. They love to hear themselves speak, and they love to act like they're so much smarter than the candidate that is sitting there that has to answer these questions, when in reality, these people are one of the dumbest group of people that I've ever seen in my life. And I can mention names, but I will refrain from doing that right now because it will aggravate me, and I may say something that will get me in trouble here on YouTube. The Whoopi Goldberg situation over there at The View is ongoing. There's a poisonous show to look at when it comes to the new FCC director that gets put in charge, because they out and out lie, make up things. They're on a par with Rachel Maddow. Speaking of, her hair's on fire over the fact that she can't control the media anymore with her lies and discontent. And she'll continue on that until the network's ratings go so far in the toilet that they have no alternative but to replace the talking heads that have been lying to us for the last 4 years and covering up everything from assassinations attempts and as well as what was going on in the White House with a president sitting there with cognitive decline that made or wasn't making the decisions, so his underlings and people that are not appointed by us or elected by us to make decisions that put us in harm's way. And if you don't believe that, just look at the money that was thrown into the Ukraine and look at the back-turning on our closest ally in the Middle East during the conflict with Gaza and Israel. It's not good. But it will be better now because we have someone at the helm of this ship that understands what path to take, how to do it, and what it takes to run a business. And if you stop and think about it, there is no bigger business in the world than the United States of America and the well-being of its citizens. So we're looking at that and we're saying we need somebody to work on our behalf, not on somebody else's, or to line a pocket utilizing, and this goes through Congress, Senate, I don't care where you look, there's been corruption and there's been payoffs and there's been times that the untruths were told for a reason. Money was made by manipulating the stock market because these guys get the advance notice before something happens that will affect the stock market, and they cash in on it. How do you, and I've asked this question, how do you get a job that pays you for the rest of your life? And how do you go into that job with a small bank account, and then when you leave Congress, you have millions in the bank? Does that make sense to you? I think we woke up in November and realized that these people are enriching themselves while destroying the tax money that you're paying. And this is what they're so scared of right now. It's fear that they're trying to keep these people from taking their positions because they don't want to be looked at through a microscope because too much is at risk of finding out exactly what's taken place in this last 4 years. We don't want to know, is what they tell us. Yes, I do want to know. I want to know about the assassination attempts that were swept under the rug by mainstream media. There's reports somewhere on that. And how does a Secret Service agent, a well-trained Secret Service agent, fire 6 or 7 shots into a person hiding in a bush and miss all those at point-blank range? You're not going to convince me that there's not something fishy there. And then what about the FBI swooping in on the first assassination attempt and hiding everything, getting the perpetrator's body cremated within hours of them taking him off the roof? What were they covering up? Who really did it? Who is involved? I think they're running out of fear right now in these Senate hearings because they know that if Kash Patel gets in, he'll get to the bottom of what's going on with the FBI and the CIA and every other three-letter agencies that we have in this country that have done next to nothing for their entire time in Congress or the Senate. You have the power to call them, write them, text them, do whatever you have to do to tell them we want honesty back in the White House. We have a new press secretary right now that has has literally promised that she will be totally truthful about everything, and regardless, it has to happen in truth. We have been lied to off that podium. The news gaggle has been lied to every day by Kareem Jean-Pierre, and I'm so happy to see her face off of that and see this new press secretary that's coming out with the answers without using a book of pre-answered written statements. It's evident. If you watched any of the last presser that she did, it was wonderful and refreshing to see that. It's also refreshing that they removed some CNN people that were there to just mess with her, and they're out of there now. And she's opened up some seating for people from this platform and Rumble and places like that that are news influencers, such as this channel, and she's letting them come in and apply for the application for the credentials to be in that room. That's a major advancement since everyone has gone to social media and away from the mainstream media and legacy media that has really destroyed themselves. And as the ratings fall, maybe they'll get the idea that they have to have a change in personnel. Rachel Maddow. Oh, my God. Don't even get me started on that, because we need a new FCC director to make sure that that doesn't continue. But there's one nasty individual that is a Trump hater beyond your wildest imagination. And until she gets caught up in it, she in The View, and I guess The View has got their own rating problems, how you could tune in to listen to them with their idiocy in how they report things, and Morning Joe. These people, their ratings are plummeting, and they're plummeting for a reason. Because we know now, it's come to light, that they have lied to us for 4 years about everything. We woke up in November. We issued a mandate to the government, which is being carried out by Donald J. Trump, and it's going to happen, and it's not going to be happening in one day. So when the press gaggle is always asking the question, well, the price of bread and eggs didn't go down, what did they expect in 1 week? After 4 years of destroying this country, you don't put it back together in 1 week. The adage, Rome wasn't built in a day, is a classic example. It's almost incredible, the fear in the faces of some of the Senate people and also the Congress. It's not, it's been covered up and passed on to us too long, the lies and the hatred for a single president. It's mind-boggling. If you're getting ready to watch the rest of the hearing on Kash Patel, I would recommend that you do that. And I would recommend that if you're unhappy about something, the senator that made that remark should be called on the carpet by you, me, and everybody else through writing or calling the Senate office of that person. Dick Durbin. What a dick. But there's several of them in there that are shaking in their shoes because they don't want to be uncovered. And it's looking worse and worse for them as the news comes out. We're not getting the news from mainstream media. We're getting a redacted version of what really happened. Tell them this, because they can't handle knowing the truth. Yes, we can handle the truth, and we're looking for the truth now from our government, and hopefully we'll get some before too long. It's Thursday here, and it's a nice day, as was yesterday. And if you're planning a meal for the weekend, please keep our sponsor, Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop, in mind. They carry the finest cattle. It's called the Blonde Aquitaine cattle. And when you taste this beef, it's melt in your mouth, cut it with a fork, tender, wonderfully marbled, and beautifully presented by Butch at the Butcher Shop. They also have wonderful chicken with no antibiotics or growth hormones, and hot dogs that are no-fill hot dogs that you can buy, and they're pure beef and a wonderful flavor to it. As well as pork products. You can get everything from a pork roast to a side of ribs that are just so delicious you won't believe it. But anyway, I'll post something here at the end for you with regard to a phone number. If you call in there today, if you're not local, they're located in Kingsport, Tennessee. And if you call in today, you'll get it shipped to your door no matter where you live in this country. So give them a call. Order your cuts of beef the way you like it, or buy the packaged boxes that have a taste of everything in it, and they'll take care of you. So give them a call over there, and don't forget to tell them Kaiser sent you. And they'll take very, very good care of you, as they do for all of their clients. So enjoy the weekend on its way. We'll have another broadcast to you tomorrow. We'll see if they get up the nerve to actually put through Tulsi Gabbard today. It's supposed to happen this afternoon. They're loaded for bear with Tulsi Gabbard, thinking that they're going to get something on her and get it at all cost. Does that sound familiar? It's what they did to Donald Trump. This woman, Tulsi Gabbard, in my book, is a real great pick for that job. Hands down, she is a very put-together person, very smart, and understands what's going on inside the weaponized lawfare that kept her on a no-fly list as a senator and as an Army officer. They did this to her because they don't want to hear what she has to say about what she knows. And that scares the living heck out of them because they can't stand up to it. It's evident in these hearings as you listen to these Democratic shills with their nastiness and filibustering through a question that they answered or couldn't be answered because they filibustered through it to get the public their opinions out without listening to the answer from the candidate that's sitting there running for that or has been appointed to that office, trying to get confirmation out of these idiots that want to grandstand for 30 hours apiece on these poor appointments. It's crazy, especially when you look back through the Obama and Biden years, and you got to say, oh my God, everybody that they put up as a nominee was confirmed, 1, 2, 3. Why is it different now? It's different because they fear the truth coming out. It's plain and simple. So we need, as a nation, to thank God that we were given an opportunity to Donald J. Trump to win this election. And also we need to pray every day for these lousy people that we have in our Senate and in our Congress that want to thwart at every turn anything good being done by this president. It doesn't make any difference. It's Trump derangement syndrome. And if you attached yourself to that train, the MAGA train, they want to do everything possible to destroy you and your candidate and anything that goes along with it. And they're not going to get away with it this time because we have a strong commander-in-chief right now that will take the side of the voting population that mandated the changes that are now underway. And if you look at any other president, this guy has done more in 5 days than Joe Biden has ever accomplished in his life, and that includes in the Senate. It's unbelievable on what we had to suffer through for 4 years, and now we have the Democratic side of the aisle and a handful of rhinos over on the other side that want to prevent the country from being great again. And that's what's going on, folks. Also, the sad news today is the air collision over the Potomac with an aircraft that was in a landing pattern that was run into literally by a Black Hawk helicopter, military helicopter. And it was a tragedy to watch the explosion. They filmed it this morning, and I saw it. I was heartbroken for all of the souls that were on board of that American Airlines plane that helicopter ran into. As far as I was told this morning, there are no survivors from it. Everyone has perished. And my heart and prayers go out to the families of those people that have lost everything. And when I say everything, losing a child or a husband or a wife is a very, very devastating thing to go through. And I wish well for all of the people that are part of the families that lost people. I understand that the Olympic skating team was on board, and also 2 Russian skaters that came out of the last Olympic trials, I guess. Well, I guess it was a national skating event. God bless them all. And remember to pray for those people and the people they left behind. And also the military personnel that were on that helicopter. Pray for them. We need to get back to praying for this nation, for our leaders, our enemies as well. And enemies are not a threat to us right now, but we do have to forgive certain things as we were told to forgive, as we are forgiven for trespasses that we have maybe committed. There's a lot of bad news coming out of the news legacy media with regard to not only the cabinet picks, but they're after trying to cancel Elon Musk and trying to drive a wedge between Elon Musk and the current administration. Don't let that happen. And don't believe anything that people like Morning Joe will tell you, or Rachel Maddow, or any of those. I have to call them liars. They just don't get, along with the Democratic side of the aisle, they just don't get that we, the people, just voted against them and have an agenda that was presented to us by the other side of the party who won, and we want to see that happen. So please, pray that it does. And remember, this is a nation built on God, and we need to get back to that, and it's happening. God is back in America for a change. And it's a welcome change after the last 4 years that we were put through with uncertainty, complete lies, war starting, our tax dollars being spent around the world like drunken sailors. It's all come to an end, and people are scared now on the other side. So they want you to fear, and their big deal now with legacy media is convincing you that ICE is going about all of the finding of the illegals in a bad way. And they're going to harm other poor people that are in school or been ensconced somewhere by the government. It's too bad. Because if you came across that border without permission, illegally, you are a criminal, and you should be put back to a place where you can apply in the proper fashion. That's the long and short of it. And yes, if they take someone out of a home and they're find 3 more illegals in there, they're going to. Because they're guilty by association, and they're guilty for breaking into a country without a visa and without being invited. And they'll tell you, we were invited by Joe. Well, Joe is no longer sending invitations out to anyone. Donald J. Trump is a new leader with new ideas and will fix the entire situation. So it's Thursday, and we're looking forward to a broadcast tomorrow with more news and more Senate hearings, I guess, that will continue tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get our way. I so want Tulsi Gabbard in that position, and I do want Kash Patel in his situation, and that has to be done. So, God bless you all, and remember, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for your bits of information, news, breaking news, and a look around Appalachia. God bless. Bye-bye now.